G'day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan battle video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the Inhuman Deeds Super Battle Road stage, or Extreme Super Battle Road stage. So Inhuman Deeds is a pretty limited category. When I kind of get that off the bat, I think that's going to pose players probably the most problems. Firstly, lead. Pretty bad. We don't have a lot of leads for Inhuman Deeds, like at all. And secondly as well, the meshing of the category is very limited. Very limited. So if you look at the Inhuman Deeds team, you basically have Vegeta, so Tech, Giant Ape Vegeta. That is your lead, your one and only lead. You then have Nappa and Vegeta, the old AGL unit. You have Tech Baby, who's only out on JP, and you have Int Bubbly, the free-to-play unit that we're using. In terms of your options for your team, you essentially either build what is basically a Saiyan Saga Saiyan team. So you have units like Giant Ape Vegeta. You have units like Raditz, well, not Raditz, he's not even included. Basically, you run a full Giant Ape Vegeta, you run a full, Nappa and Vegeta type of team, which, I mean, you don't really want to do. Then your other alternatives are to run like a couple more Saiyans in that team, so maybe you go with like a Broly, maybe you go with like a Vegeta Goku, maybe you mesh in a couple Freezers there, Freezers on the Inhuman Deeds, so you can mesh in a couple decent Freezer units, or you go and slot in a couple Goku Blacks. It's also a decent option. Alternatively, you can do what I'm doing and just kind of go for like an extreme hybrid team, so whereby we are kind of just rocking with like whatever extreme units we can essentially, and just making sure we essentially only have the Big Bad Bosses link active, which is kind of the only priority link. Everyone's just kind of self-servicing themselves with key. It's just a very difficult team because, like, so GT has quite a few Inhuman Deeds options. You have Super 17, you have Baby, you have Baby Vegeta, you have Shenron. The biggest problem is, firstly, right now on Global you don't have all of the best options, which have come out on JP, which helps out a lot. And then secondly as well, linking outside of the GT link, not too great. So then you go for the Wicked Bloodline side and it's the same thing. Yeah, outside of all the freezers that you can stick together, that's pretty much it. So unless you have enough freezers to build the team, you're kind of out of luck. And then you have, like I said, the Saiyan kind of Goku Black, Broly approach system, whereby you are essentially kind of just building around the concept of Goku Black, Broly prepared for battle, etc. But Broly doesn't have Big Bad Bosses, Goku Black does. Vegeta and Nappa don't have Big Bad Bosses, Goku Black does. So you need some way to trigger that Big Bad Bosses, which is why you'll see me floating units like Rose and Sin Shenron and things like that. Because yeah, that's basically how it is. It is a very difficult category to build, more so from a functionality point of view. I think you either are lucky in that you have just enough units from a single subsect to make it work, so you have 6 really good Goku Black units, or your Goku Black units all rainbow or whatever. You have 6 really good GT units, or they all rainbow or whatever. Or you have 6 really good Wicked Bloodlines units and they're all rainbow or whatever. Or you have 6 Saiyan Saga Saiyan units, which I don't even think you can do, but maybe you do. So yeah, it is a bit of a shame. It's just a bit of a wonky category to build. You can still clear the stage. I mean, as you can see, you can still clear the stage with not necessarily having all of the requisite tools, but it would be a lot easier and more fun if you did. Now, in terms of the units I'd like to single out for this, so yeah, obviously stunning is very important, sealing is very important in Esbr and Esbr. Babidi covers a lot of that, which is really good. Like, Babidi covering that is really solid and helps us out a lot. It gives us a good foundation to work off from a utility perspective. Goku Black also provides a bit of stunning, which I think is really good. So yeah, there is some good kind of protection in the team from that direction. You also have two really good debuffers, well, three technically, although I didn't bring them. But you have Physical Omega Shenron, Strength Omega Shenron, and you have Strength Goku Black. All three of them debuff the opposition's attack, which is really good and super important, and can really help you out with just taking the edge off a lot of bosses' attacks. So that's really good. I think that's, yeah, I don't want to say it's mandatory, but it's super important. It basically helps to really kind of cover in and help to take the edge off, and allows you to kind of conserve items, and yeah, just maybe only use one item when you would have used two, etc. So I do think it's pretty important, and I think they're important to mention because I do think it's really strong. Then you have a couple of strong AoE options. So Giant Ape Vegeta is obviously one of them. You have Tech LR Broly, who's a really good damage dealer. You have Strength LR Broly, who's a really good damage dealer. You do have options for damage. So you do have a decent array of damage dealing units. You just maybe don't necessarily have the ability to set them up as well as you want to because of the wonky links and lack of supports and things like that. So just be careful whichever unit you use. You want to really be able to kind of sync up or get going and really allow them to kind of push. So I do think it's super important that you keep that in mind. Outside of that though, they are, I think there's enough options to make it work. I wouldn't say it's necessarily the best team. It's always a bit weird because Zamasu's not on Inhuman Deeds, but Zamasu did the Zero Mortals plan, and so there is a little bit of well, if Goku's black, Goku's black. If Goku Black is on there, why is there no Zamasu? And it's not that it's an absolutely intangible situation, but yeah, it does feel a little bit kind of well, would have been great if he was on there, because it would have really helped out and made life a lot easier. So that would have been cool. It's not necessary, but it would have been cool. And so I think there's that feeling a little bit. But yeah, overall for me, I would probably say you have enough to make things work. Whether you have enough to make things work really nicely is a completely different question. I think, you have to accept to a certain extent that, with some of these categories, things are maybe just about malleable or just about working, and possibly could work a bit better. And I think this is one of those scenarios whereby it could work a little bit better, but it's not. So, one of those things. It's not the end of the world. I think overall, it's a really solid kind of team build without being spectacular. I think there's maybe too much limiting factors to the team build to make it super coherent and accessible for a lot of players. But I think if you have maybe half of each team, if you have half of the Wicked Bloodlines team, half the Goku Black team, you can stick them together. It's just about fitting them under a lead, because you only have one Inhuman Deeds lead, which is why I wanted to show that you could do it with the Babidi that's free to play. Of course, if you don't have the free to play Babidi, then you may have to go for a singular team and accept some subpar units on your Time Travelers team or on your Wicked Bloodlines team, whatever way you're gonna swing it. But yeah, it is one of those things, just in general. You can run a subsect of planetary destruction as well. So there is, like I said, there is some kind of usability, but it's just the real question is always kind of you know, how to get it all to work just enough to kind of beat the stage. But yeah, I think Inhuman Deeds definitely needs a new lead, that's for sure. And yeah, I think yeah, definitely needs a new lead. We need a secondary option. Having only Vegeta and 3 sub-leads, you know, for such a small category doesn't really work. When you have like only 1 lead, but it's at least like a super wide category, you can kind of build subsects underneath it. Like Bond, Parent and Child, you could build a Goku's family, a Vegeta's family, Hybrid Saiyans, a Pure Saiyans even. So you could do all of that, but when it's like Inhuman Deeds, and it's so varied, the category, it does become a little bit difficult. But yeah, that's basically going to be it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, of course, leave a like. It's greatly appreciated. And yeah, that's basically going to be it for me. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So until then, as always, take care, stay safe, and yeah, thank you guys for watching. Bye.